this video is more for my beginner photographer. So if you're a more advanced photographer, this might not be for you. Now, if you've been getting used to your camera, you've been taking some really amazing shots, then you see work on Instagram in studio and you decide that, hey, you know what, I want to try that, or maybe that is for me and you want to try it out. The first thing you learn is that you are going to need lights. I know for me, when I started out and I did some of the research initially, the first thing that used to pop up was the AD400, AD600 Pro. I felt like that was being pushed to me. I don't know, maybe it was my algorithm. The price alone kind of turned me off because I was like, this is outside of my budget right now. And only after like watching more and more content, I realized that there are more cheaper alternatives. Enter the Godox MS300V. Now, this is a solid budget-friendly studio strobe, and that's what we're gonna take a look at today. I've opened this before, but I'm gonna put it exactly how it was so you get an idea of what you get in the box. Let's take a look. All right, team, so we got the box here. It's the MS300V, and that's gonna tell you if it comes with the LED light or the bulb. And as you can see, it says compact studio flash. Max power is 300. If you're in a studio environment and it's small, this is your go-to. But it's always good to have more power, right? But if you're just starting out, this is the one that you're going to need. A 300 watt, even a 200 watt would work, but I decided to go with this one. So let's take a look inside to see what we get. Once you open it, will tell you that you get the light body, lamp cover, power cord, and instruction manual. As you can see, we greeted with the power cable. Once you open this up, or take that out, you have the flash body itself. Now, MS300 lamp cover is on there for protection. Put that to the side. There is also a extra fuse. Now, I did a video about the fuse replacement, so if you want to check that out, the link is in the description. These are very important. So from my research, a lot of the Godox strobes, they do use a fuse to really protect the equipment. So if something should happen and the flash won't flash or it won't turn on, check your fuse, right? So, and that's it. The instruction manual is not in here because I took it out and probably put it to the side. You know, we don't use those things, so hey. All right, so let's take a closer look. Okay, so here we have the Godox MS300V on a light stand, just so you can have an idea of how it will look. If you notice, it does have the lamp cover on it, so if I were to take it off, it gets a lot shorter. But I like to keep it on just for, you know, to avoid any accidents. All right, so let's take a look at the back of the unit to see what buttons you actually get with this unit. We can start from left to right. First thing is we have your group and channel button, and this allows you to change the group and the channel, of course. By pressing it one time, you can change the group button. To select, you can just hit this, the knob, which acts as a button, selection knob, and it will select it. To change the channel up top, you just hold it down. It starts to flash, and you can press it, well, my apologies, and you can actually turn the knob to select what channel you want it to be on, and then press it to select it. Next button is the slave button, and you can use this strobe as a slave, so it will fire if another flash or strobe fires in studio, and that's very helpful. But I normally use one of these as my key or fill lights and use my X Pro trigger to, you know, control each of them. Next button is this button has a speaker on it. I call it the notification button. So if I were to press it, it will turn on the notifications for any button or turn of the knob that's happening on the unit. And I keep it off because sometimes the noise, as you can hear, it gets pretty annoying. This button operates your LED light on the front of the unit. As you can tell, it's saying off right now. If I were to press it again, it goes to prop, right? You press it one more time, it goes into continuous light mode. Now, up until now, doing this video, I realized that you can actually change the intensity of this by pressing this button, the knob, and then turning it to the amount that you need the output to be, as you can see on screen, right? Once you're done, hit the button again. Moving on to the next button, which is the test button. This button will test your strobe and fire off. Something to note, if you're at 132 power, let's say you want it to be at 1/8 power, turn the knob to get to 1/8. Let's say you fire a shot. Once it fires, this will go off and come back. That means it has recycled. And then you wanted to bring it down to 132. Notice that this starts to flash. This means that it has residual power from being on 1/8 power. You have to discharge that amount of power so you can actually use this 132. And let me repeat that. So let's say your strobe starts out at 1/8 power or a half power. Once you turn it to 132, this button will start to flash because it has a buildup of power from being at those higher numbers. To get that off, you just hit the button and it will discharge all the power that was stored up. Now you're at 132 and you're able to fire at 132 power without any problems. Next button, you have your switch, on and off switch. As you can tell, you have your fuse box. Again, I made a video about this. If you want to check it out, links in the description. You have your wireless sync and you have your sync port right here. Typically just use my X Pro trigger and it works flawlessly. I encourage you to get one as well. So on the front of the unit, you have your Bowens mount, and this allows this unit to accept unlimited amounts of modifiers that you can find on the market. In the middle, you have your LED light and the lamp, of course. The LED light can get crazy bright, but it won't get bright to the point where you're looking at a aperture 120D type of light. It's mostly used to set up a shot, and if you wanted to probably use it as a fill light, but don't expect like a crazy brightness from this light at all. But as you can see, it gets the job done. So a few things about this light. The flash power, yo, amazing. For the money that you pay for it, it gets the job done. Chef's kiss on the power, all right? The recycle time, very decent. Now the LED light that comes on this unit, it is sufficient for setting up the shot. And you can actually use it as a little fill light if you wanted to use continuous light, but don't expect a aperture 120D type of power, right? Now let's take a look at the disadvantages. As you can see from the unboxing, we didn't get a trigger in the box. And come on, Godox, what you mean, no trigger? But you can pick up a trigger on Amazon very cheap, right? So go figure. So the big question is, should you buy it? Again, this is geared for like if you have a small studio or if you're a beginner, but it's definitely something that gets the job done. I've used this on several occasions and they never let me down, except for that one time where I had a blown fuse and I had to change it out. But you can check out that video in the description. And the other thing is, as you can see, there's no battery option. So this is strictly a plug-in type of unit. Now, if you were getting kind of crafty, you could pick up one of those battery packs that has a plug-in and you could take this on site and use it. The final verdict, if you are a beginner photographer and you need a budget strobe, solid budget strobe, this is it. Now, if you want to see how this light stacks up against the AD400 Pro, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and stay tuned for the next video. Catch you on the next one. Peace. I have the prop light on right now and I can't even look directly into the light. At 100%, you definitely have to have some modifier on it. This is actually a really good light. Jesus.